Yora positioned herself in the middle of the crystals and spoke once the two had reached her.
Whenever you're ready, I'll perform the spell and we'll crack one of these open. Do you have a preference for which one we start with?
Why don't we do all of them at once?
Tempest asked.
I mean, we can, but that's going to put you in unnecessary danger.
It's going to take too long for me to recover to do it one by one. If it won't kill me, then I say we do it.
Yora looked at the crystals and extended her hand, shifting her eyes blue. When she eyed each of the 5 crystals, she turned back to Tempest and let out a sigh.
The spell on the crystals has weakened since we freed Castor, so I think it's doable. However, if I see you drop before the spell is over, I'm stopping it immediately.
I think that's fair,
Tempest said, pulling out the dagger.
I could help,
Castor said, extending her arm.
There's no reason for you to use all of your blood when there are others around us.
Zero took a step forward after he and Yora both suppressed a laugh.
Your Majesty, well, we, and I'm sure Tempest, appreciate the sentiment. That would not work at all. The reason we require Tempest's blood is because of the magical potency needed to trigger the spell. Your blood is much like ours, extremely powerful. However, compared to Tempest, it's like comparing a single lit torch to a citywide blaze.
Oh, wow, Castor said, wide-eyed.
I mean, I always knew there was a large difference, but I didn't realize it was that drastic. Thanks for putting it into perspective.
More pleasure,
he said with a bow. Tempest pulled out a dagger and rolled up his pants. He made 4 cuts, one along each arm and leg, then one more across his chest. With a quick nod to Yora, he signaled for her to begin the incantation. Tempest could immediately feel the effects of the spell as the blood slithered its way out of each of the incisions. He shuffled in place as he quickly became lightheaded. He waved off Yora's glance and pressured her to keep going. He took a wider stance and shifted his hips in hopes that he would stay mobile until the spell completed. Just like before, the blood crystallized above each of the crystals before Yora plunged it into their surfaces. However, unlike before, the crystals shattered immediately on impact, sending shards everywhere. Yora dispelled the spell without delay. The crowd gasped as Tempest fell backward to the floor. Casta and Ciro jumped to his side, helping him to stand to his feet. He wiped the sweat from his eyes as his vision focused on the beings in front of him. The largest of them, contained in the red crystal, was the first to jump to his feet. He let out a barbaric shout to the group surrounding them, only halting when he noticed the others rummaging in the broken crystal.
Did you really have to shout, Ungroth?
The woman with the thin see-through dress said.
That's the last thing I want to wake up to.
I'm sorry, Celestra,
Ungroth said, picking the woman up and setting her onto her feet.
I thought I was facing that furry-haired fuck.
Just give me 5 minutes with that bastard and I'll burn him alive,
the woman from the green crystal said, conjuring fire in her red hand.
No, I very much doubt that, given our losses, the woman in plate armor said. It seems like we were whittled down into ornaments for display, save for Septimus from the looks of it.
That's because he never gets involved, the fucking coward,
Ungroth said. The portly man from the golden crystal patted Ungroth on the shoulder and gave him a big smile.
You know how he is. It's best to leave him be.
I think that's the least of our concerns, the short-haired woman said, turning around. The remaining members followed the woman's lead, turning and addressing Tempest and his companions. She cocked her head and took a step toward Tempest, who had just managed to stand on his own. As she approached him, her eyes went wide and she stood straight.
Father?